Hi, good morning, and a warm welcome to this webinar on LLB and the career paths that are available after your degree in law. Today, I'm joined by two of my junior colleagues, Mr. Siddhant Prasad and Vikas Bhuvanamuralidharan. I'll briefly introduce them and hand over the floor to them. Siddhant has done most of his education in England, LLB from University of Edinburgh, and LLM from Cambridge. He also spent an year at the National University of Singapore as an exchange student. He started his career at Green Climate Fund in South Korea, then moved into academics, and he had a stint at Jindal Global Law School as an assistant professor. Then he has joined SaiU University as an assistant professor. Siddhant shares his birthday with Kapil Dev and Greta Thunberg, two of his passion areas. He's an avid cricketer and an environmental activist. At SaiU University, he teaches legal methods and international law. And he is also in charge of the sports club, University Sports Club. And at law school, he is in charge of the Moot Court Society. So, Siddhant, thank you for joining and welcome to this webinar. We also have Vikas Bhuvanamuralidharan, who is also at SaiU University School of Law as an assistant professor. Vikas has done his LLB from Shastra University, Chennai, and has done his LLM from Jindal Global Law School, where he won the gold medal and the Dean's Award for overall performance in the LLM studies. He started his career as a junior to senior advocate Sriram Panju and have a lot of experience in the legal practice. He also assisted Mr. Sriram Panju in the mediation of Ayodhya Babri Masjid dispute. He also writes co-authors with Mr. Sriram Panju in the Hindu on many current affairs or in the field of law. Vikas is also a stand-up comedian, so it will be interesting to attend his classes. He teaches family law in 2 semesters, family law 1 and family law 2. He is in charge of the legal aid clinic and is also part of the Moot Court Society. I think Siddharth and Vikas will speak about these co-curricular activities later. I am Shiju MD. I'm a professor at SaiU University and acting as a dean right now. I have done most of my education in the state of Kerala, and I have done my MPhil and PhD from Jawaharlal Nehru University. Started my teaching career at National University of Juridical Sciences, Kolkata. Worked in Terry School of Advanced Studies, Christ, and I've joined SaiU University from its inception. So I think we can start. Siddhant, if you can briefly speak about SaiU University. We will keep it very brief and we'll devote most of the time for question and answers. So Siddhant, if you can briefly speak about SaiU University.
Sure. Can you hear me, Shiju?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Thank you, Shiju, for that kind introduction, and welcome to everybody joining this webinar. I know you're all very interested in probably finding out more about the law program, but we'd just like to take a couple of minutes to tell you a bit more about the university as a whole, within which, of course, the law school is situated. And this will hopefully help you to see what makes SaiU University and consequently also the law school a special place to study. So SaiU University was started a little over 2 years ago by one of the leading tech entrepreneurs that India has had in recent decades, Mr. K.V. Ramani. And alongside him is our Vice Chancellor, Professor Jamshed Bharucha, who is also one of the leading neuroscientists in the world. And these two minds came together to start a world-class university in India. And they really wanted this to be world-class, to compete with the best universities in the world. And to that end, they did two things. The first thing that they did was bring in some of the best legal minds and academic minds in the country and from across the world. And if you go through our faculty list, you will see that. We have a highly diverse set of faculty from some of the best institutions in the world, and each one of them is highly passionate about what they do and passionate about teaching. The second thing they did was situate the university within something we call the liberal education framework. Now, I don't want to go too much into it unless somebody has questions about it later on, but the idea is to allow students to explore their interests and not to stifle them with excessive course loads, with rigid frameworks in which you're forced to do things that you may not really be very interested in. That was the idea within which the university was started, and those are also ideas that the law school tries to espouse. So the one difference between SaiU University right from the onset and all the other universities you see around you in India is that we think really carefully about the type of education that's being delivered. Nothing at SaiU University is done just because it's something that's been done before. Every single aspect of your education, right from the curriculum that you learn to the styles in which you are taught, the extracurricular activities you do, or even the internships that you do, these have all been thought afresh to ensure that we deliver an education that is on par with some of the best institutions in the world, and an education, more importantly, that works for you rather than for the system or for the university. And so it's a student-centric approach, and that is what I think SaiU University, what makes it stand out and why it was set up. So that's a very brief introduction to the university. There's a lot more to it, and if there are any questions at a later point, I'd be happy to go into other aspects. But for now, I'll hand it back over to Shiju.
Yeah, Siddhant, thank you. Thank you very much for introducing SaiU University to this participants. Because we are here to talk about the LLB program. So can you briefly tell us about the LLB program or the law program overall, and specifically in India, how LLB is organized, and what are the different ways in which you can become a lawyer? Yeah, over to you.
Yes. Yes. Hi, thank you, Shiju, and thank you, Siddhant. I just wanted to spend a couple of minutes talking about the legal education in India. And as Professor Shiju asked, how do you become a lawyer? So let's take a couple of minutes to understand how the legal education system in India works. And then we will move on to the specifics of SaiU University and how we provide our legal education in a little bit. So legal education in India is fundamentally governed by the Bar Council of India. So the Bar Council of India sets up various rules, regulations, etc. for universities to be accredited, recognized, and for them to be able to offer various law degrees. Now, the starting point for anyone to become a lawyer in India is obviously to obtain a law degree, which was either a BL, in the past we used to call it the Bachelor of Laws, BL, or now it's called the LLB. The Bar Council of India's rules specifically state that for you to have a BL degree or an LLB degree, you must have had an undergraduate degree before. So it is not the traditional 3-year LLB degree, the LLB program. It's not something that you can pursue immediately after finishing 12th grade, for example. You will have had to have an undergraduate degree before applying to the 3-year LLB program. So you would graduate in a total period of 6 years, right? You do a 3 years undergraduate program, a 3-year LLB program, and you would end up being a lawyer with fundamentally 2 degrees. Now, this changed with the introduction of the integrated courses. So now there are dedicated law institutes that provide 5-year courses. And at the end of 5 years, you fundamentally obtain 2 degrees. The most common ones are a BA LLB, which combines subjects from the BA stream and subjects from the law stream. Some colleges also offer BSc LLB, where you study certain subjects in science. You take certain courses from the BSc program and you finish a law education. So the major various streams that we have in India currently are the BA LLB, the BCom LLB, the BBA LLB, BSc LLB, BTech LLB. So there are a wide variety of options to choose from. But the reason why people prefer the integrated course is obviously because you study 1 year shorter. You don't spend 6 years on an education. And if you're already sure that you're going to be a lawyer and that is your ambition and you want to work in the space of law, it makes much better choice or much better sense to choose a 5 year integrated program rather than having to spend 6 years on your education. Thank you.
Thank you, Vikas. So as Vikas mentioned, we have 3-year, 5-year, and even in 5-year integrated course, we have BA LLB, BBA LLB, BCom LLB, and a 6-year BTech LLB is also available now. At SaiU University, we offer a BA LLB honors program, a 5-year integrated program. So any student who has completed his or her +2 can join for BA LLB honors program at SaiU University. There is a slight difference between an honors program and a normal pass program, if you can call it so, of BA LLB. In a BA LLB honors program, you will also be specializing in a particular field. So we offer certain specializations wherein you can specialize as a lawyer. So that is BA LLB honors, and you will have to take 8 more courses, more than what a normal BA LLB takes as per the BCI regulations. Now, speaking about the BA LLB honors program at SaiU University, if you join for the LLB program, it's a 5-year program, and over this 5 years, you will have to take 56 courses. And it's an integrated BA LLB. So as far as the BA part is concerned, you will have to study 3 courses, 3 subjects plus English language. So the courses that we are offering as part of social sciences are political science as a major subject, where you'll have to take 6 courses, and psychology and economics as minor subjects, where you will be taking 3 courses each from this, and 2 courses in English. When it comes to the law courses, the courses in law, you will have this again is divided into 4 different types of courses. One is compulsory courses, which any student who studies in any law school in India has to take. So we have 22 compulsory courses that you have to undergo. Then there are certain electives or optional courses that you can take. So SaiU University will be offering a bouquet of courses from which you can take these courses. So there are 6 elective courses that you have to take over a period of 5 years. Then you have 8 specialization courses, and the specializations that we offer are in the field of one area is technology, law, and policy. That only institute LLB specialization is SaiU University School of Law. So technology law is one, commercial law is another, international law and constitutional law are other fields on which you can specialize. The other type of courses are clinical courses, which are more hands-on courses, wherein you actually do things, not only the theoretical knowledge, but you actually, in the field of legal aid, you can see that you will actually go to the ground and you will be doing your things. So we have 4 clinical courses, which takes into 56 courses over a period of 5 years. And each of these courses are 4 credits each. That means every week you will have 4 hours of classes plus 1 hour of tutorial, which will be there. In addition to that, you will have many other co-curricular activities which will be which will be taking place within a week. So this is briefly about the BA LLB honors program at SaiU University. I will come back if you have questions. We will answer these. The questions, we will be very happy to clarify it. But before we take questions, I think that because it's also important, they are going to invest 5 years of their exciting time in studying law. So what you can do after completing this BA LLB honors at SaiU University? What are the career opportunities that are available? Because if you can shed some light on that.
Thank you, Shiju. So I think studying a law degree opens a lot of doors, so way more doors than people generally realize, because most people assume that you get a law degree, you go practice in a court, or you join a law firm and you're engaged in practice. And that's the only option available to you. But of course, with the growth of technology and the way the world is going right now, there are a lot of doors that have opened up for lawyers to work in various fields. The top option is obviously an advocate. This is where you enroll with the bar council and you practice in the court, either independently. First, you would join an advocate who's already practicing. You would probably work under him for a few years, and then you can establish your independent practice and practice before the courts, either in trial courts or the High Court or the Supreme Court. But there are various other options also. The most attractive option currently is to join these corporate law firms. So law firms or organizations that are set up that specifically deal in the business of law. So they would have a wing that goes and practices in courts. They would have a wing that advises corporate clients, like any corporate giant in the world. They would need lawyers to ensure that they are meeting all the regulations and various statutory requirements that you're supposed to meet. So joining a corporate law firm is the most attractive option in terms of money. They provide very high pay at this current day and age. There is also the opportunity to join government services. Now, to work in the public sector, various governmental departments recruit lawyers very regularly for their work, and there are specific institutions like the CBI, like the Indian Armed Forces, that very frequently need lawyers and have a legal wing and a legal department. For example, in the Indian Army, there are lawyers who are regulated at various levels, either to conduct departmental inquiries against officers or to represent officers in departmental inquiries. The CBI also has a legal team, and they regularly post requirements and take up lawyers and hire them for the legal department for their work. Of course, if you do not want to work in the public sector, there is also activism. You can work in policy making. There are private institutions that engage in research work, that develop policy briefs, etc. And these frequently need the help of lawyers and those who are trained in law. There are various other career options. I'll quickly run into them. Of course, there is the option of joining the judiciary, taking the judicial services exam, becoming a judge in the lower courts first, and then getting promoted. You get promoted your way up in the Indian judiciary. You can also engage in journalism, and of course, like us, you can engage in the legal academia, which is legal research and legal teaching. So for that, you will, after the LLB degree, you will mandatorily have to do a master's and LLM, and do a PhD as well. But these are the various different types of career opportunities and fields that exist today as a lawyer. And there are constantly developing new fields in the world. For example, the intersection of AI and law brings with it a lot of exciting opportunities for lawyers, the development of artificial intelligence. There are also various different types of law that you can practice. You can practice in the criminal side. You can do intellectual property, which is copyright, trademark, etc. You can do entertainment law. You can do sports law. There is literally no field of work or field of business that exists in the world today where the help of a lawyer is not needed. So right from serious high-profile governmental contracts to human rights violations, to sporting contracts and between a player and his team, or in the entertainment industry, whether it be movies or web series or TV shows, every single field of business that you can think of, the role of a lawyer is present, and the role of a lawyer is needed. So I think at this juncture, especially, it's a very exciting time to study law, and there is a wide variety of opportunities and from which a person getting this legal education can choose from.
Thank you, Vikas. It seems exciting. So we have exciting career opportunities after completing the 5-year BA LLB honors program. But the students are going to invest 5 years of their exciting time in their life for studying law. Siddhant, is it going to be a boring course where there is no life, only studies and internships? Even during summer break, you have to do compulsory internship and all. So is it going to be 5-year boring, all the time studying program, BA LLB, how would be the life at SaiU University? What are the co-curricular, extracurricular, and other activities which are available at SaiU University? If you can shed some light on that.
Yeah, thanks, Ajay. I'm going to be realistic here. University is different. There's a lot of work at law school and at university. And what I've seen in our students is that they actually enjoy this work. So they do work very hard. But alongside it, they do have a lot of fun. University is unique in that respect because you go from an environment which you've all been in, which is school, well controlled and regulated, to a space where you have a lot more opportunities and a lot more time as well, and time in which you can decide how you want to spend it. You're not going to be forced to do certain things. The world's your oyster, as they would say. And to that end, SaiU University offers dozens and dozens of opportunities to pursue hobbies that you're interested in. At the student level, for instance, we have multiple student clubs and societies. If you're interested in sports, we have a sports society in which we actively participate in cricket, in football, table tennis, badminton tournaments. We've taken our students across India to participate in some of these tournaments. So if you're interested in sports, we've got something to offer. If you're interested in dance, or if you're interested in music, art, astronomy, we have clubs for all of these activities that you can join and engage with on a weekly basis. And if we don't have something that suits your interest, and perhaps you're interested in an instrument that isn't offered yet, you have the freedom to come and set up your own society, your own club, and request for funding from the university, and you will be supported. So to sum it up, you have the freedom to pursue your interests, and the university will support you in that regard. And your personal life, your extracurricular life is something that we really value. We are not one of those universities who believe that academics and studying is the end of the is all you're here for. We recognize that your life, your personal well-being is also very important, and so we do pay a lot of emphasis on that, allow you to pursue your hobbies, and also simultaneously a lot of these extracurricular activities are designed to help you build your personality so that you come out at the end of 5 years not just with a degree with some letters and marks on it, but also a strong, attractive personality that will help you navigate through the challenges of the world. So that's a bit about the extracurriculars and some of the societies. I should say a word or two about housing as well. We are a residential university, though you do have the option of being a day scholar. We have hostels that are currently being built on campus. And these hostels, if you come and take a look, we would say are of the standard, of some of the best standards that you'd find anywhere in the country. You have very, very well-equipped, comfortable, air-conditioned rooms within a safe and secure campus, with all the comforts that you could possibly ever ask for as a student to pursue your education. So that's a bit about the extracurricular life, the social life, and the accommodation facilities on campus. I'm sure you'll have many more questions about the things that we've spoken about. So perhaps should you now we'll open to questions. Yes, I should mention about some of the extracurriculars of in the law school. Vikas has just reminded me. The law school has certain special extracurricular activities that I experience what it would be like to practice as an advocate, to practice in court. So it's essentially a mock court scenario. And over the 5 years, we train you we teach you how to speak, and we help you prepare for a career as an advocate. So that's a very specific extracurricular activity that we run, and that's called mooting. The other activity that we run is something called legal aid, in which you have the opportunity alongside a professional practitioner to actually go and help real people deal with real legal cases. So it's an introduction into the field of legal practice, where under the guidance of someone, you start to get involved in real life cases right from your first year. So those are special activities curated just for law students and for the law degree to get you experienced in what you're setting out to do.
Thank you, Siddharth, for giving us a glimpse of what life at SaiU University would be at, after when you do this 5-year BA LLB honors program. Now it is time for question and answer. I think that we have already 3 questions. First question is about what are the negative aspects of studying law. I think that's the first question. Negative aspects of studying law from a professional viewpoint. I think that I'm not the best person to answer that question because I've already invested around 14 years studying law, starting from my LLB till PhD. I will leave it to Siddhant and Vikas, but I think I have my experience as a teacher for the last 20 years. I think that 2 things, negative aspect of studying law in an integrated mode are the following. One is that you are making a choice after your +2. So once you join BA LLB, you are locked for 5 years. Then you don't have any other opportunity of going for any other program, whether you're interested in BA, BSc, BCom, BTech, etc. So many a time we have found this dilemma in the students after spending 1 year. This is not what I expected. I think that I have to study history or geography. At SaiU University, even though we should not be speaking about this for a program for School of Law, we have what Siddhant mentioned as a liberal education. So the students have an option, even after completing 1 year, to shift to a liberal program in BA or BSc or BTech. That option is there. From our first batch, 2 of our bright students left law. They thought that, no, this is not for us. So they have joined the liberal BA program. No other university offers that option. But a liberal BA student cannot join LLB. Once to join LLB, you have to start as an LLB student. But as an LLB student, you have the option of changing your program even after 1 year of education at SaiU University. The second negative thing that I think about studying law without doing a graduation is that you are limited in your world outlook, in the sense that you are studying only law and certain social science subjects. And many of the law schools are unidisciplinary, in the sense you have only LLB program and you are interacting only with law students. I think here also SaiU University stands out. Many other universities, we are a multidisciplinary university. And the Tamil word for university is Pala Kalai Kazhagam. That means it's a place where you can learn many arts. So we are a multidisciplinary university. Many of the courses that you are attending will be along with the BA, BSc, BTech students. So we have many exciting courses. You will be regularly interacting with these students. So in the sense that you will have a taste of what is going to, what you can expect after studying law 5 years, because law is an all-encompassing area which affects all aspects of human life. So I think SaiU University will, the 2 negative things that I can think about, I think SaiU University has already addressed. Siddhant, Vikas, you want to chip in?
No, I think you've covered it, Shiju. The only thing I'd emphasize, and it's something that Vikas spoke about, is that there seems to be a misconception, especially in India, around the idea that if you study law, then you can only become a lawyer. And that is one thing that people generally tend to consider a negative point. Oh, I've done 5 years, now I have to do something in the legal industry. That's not true. Increasingly, the world and companies are moving towards skill-based recruitment, which means what they're interested in is not really what subject you've studied, whether you've done politics or law or sociology. What they're interested in are your skills. How well do you communicate? How well can you write? How sharp is your mind? That's what they're interested in. And at the end of the 5 years, if you decide you don't want to do law, I want to go and do journalism. I want to work for wildlife conservation. You absolutely can, even though you have studied a law degree. And that is because the law degree gives you those skills. As a lawyer, you are trained to think quickly. You are trained to analyze. You are trained to speak well and communicate effectively. So really, if anything, instead of narrowing your range of choice, the law degree opens it up. It's just conventional thinking that has prevented law students from going out into separate fields in India. But if you look at practice abroad, you will find law students in all fields you can think of. So that's what I'd add.
Because you
Yeah, I think just to add on to what Siddhant said, specifically to illustrate the various options that you have, it is not necessary that you'll have to do, court practice for the rest of your life. I have a friend who's now working with FC Barcelona after doing a program under FIFA. So FIFA did a program with WIPO and they collaborated and developed a program for them. And he's working with FC Barcelona. There are a few of my students, few of my colleagues who are working in the film industry. There are a few of my colleagues who have dropped out of the legal industry in a very traditional sense, but they are still doing a lot of activism work, human rights activists, and they constantly engage with human rights groups to provide them legal assistance to help them coordinate their movements better. There are colleagues of mine who are journalists now, who just write for legal newspapers or write legal columns for newspapers. So the world really is your oyster once you do complete a law degree. It's not a very straightforward course. I think,
and because
yeah,
employers recognize that when you've gone
yeah.
out of law and you say to employers, I've got a law degree, they understand that you have gone through 5 years of rigorous study. So it's a lot more valuable than saying, oh, here's my 2-year or 3-year BA. There's a real value attached to it, even if you don't do the mainstream. Sorry, Vikas.
Thank you for that, because that leads perfectly into my next point, which I think a lot of people also consider something. This could be considered a negative by a few people. I look at it as a positive, actually. Is that law is a field that is constantly evolving and constantly updating. So there is no real end to you studying law, right? So you finish 5 years of your law degree or law program, or you do 6 years, 3+3. Your learning law doesn't end there. You will have to be learning and studying acts and studying new laws throughout your career. So, for example, the year I passed out of law school, my undergraduate law degree, the immediate year after that, they introduced the GST. And now the GST law was completely new, completely confusing, and it was not something we had a teacher to guide us through. Our law school experience was done. So anyone practicing taxation law from my batch, everything that they studied in law school felt, oh, I don't know what to do with that information anymore. But I think it's a positive in two senses. One is that the law school experience, therefore, especially at SaiU University, is not a university that just teaches you and makes you learn law. It also teaches you how to learn, right? So you are exposed to a very high level of critical thinking. You're exposed to reading, your analytical skills and your reading skills and your logical reasoning skills are all worked on through the 5 years. It's not just about, this is the section, this is a Supreme Court judgment on this section, and then we move on to the next one. There's a high level of academic rigor over here, which, yes, will make you have to undergo a certain workload, but I don't see that as a negative at all. I think it's very, very exciting. It's incredible to be able to learn this skill, to teach yourself to learn, to critically analyze any subject that you have. And that's going to help you in the long run as a lawyer or in the various other fields that you decide to pursue once you take a law degree.
Thank you, Siddhant and Vikas, for that comment. The next question is on what is the assessment pattern at SaiU University. I'm happy Sadhana, I think, has asked the question. I'm happy that you use the term assessment instead of examination. So let me just briefly take on what Vikas spoke about. It is assessment. What are we assessing? Vikas very beautifully explained the GST conundrum, if you can speak so, that you never studied GST, you studied sales tax or VAT. Then suddenly a new regime has come, GST. So how do you adapt to that? So in law school, as I mentioned, there are 56 courses that you will be doing, of which 40 are law courses. Take my example. I have never studied environmental law. I have never studied competition law. I have never studied IPR. But I am teaching competition law. I am teaching environmental law. One of the consultancies that I am doing today is on interface between IPR and competition law. So how a lawyer adapts to these new emerging areas of law. So in the 5 years, what actually you are going to do is that you will be studying certain fundamental subjects in law, where you will have an understanding about how law works and what is the logic and philosophy behind law that you will be understanding. And you'll have a very good understanding of certain basic courses, basic laws. But at the same time, over these 5 years, either knowingly or unknowingly, you are learning a lot of skills. The skill successful legal profession. So the assessment pattern at SaiU University is more concentrated on the skill sets, assessing your skill sets over the years. First year, what are the skills that you are learning? So in that way, our assessment system have two components. One is an end semester examination, where your knowledge of that particular subject is being tested. It carries 40% weightage. But the 60% weightage is through continuous assessment, wherein through a lot of activities, your assessment, basically your assessment of skills are being tested. So you'll have presentations, you'll have writing assignments, you will have role play, you have moot court. So all these are part of our assessment pattern. So 60% is continuous assessment, where the emphasis is looking at the hard and soft skills that are needed for legal profession. And then semester examination, another skill, your memorizing skill, your analyzing skill, your writing skill is being tested. But at the same time, your knowledge about that basic courses are also being tested. So this is briefly the assessment pattern at SaiU University.
You muted yourself.
Sorry. What are the scope of law in future, sir? Udaya has asked this question. We have already covered career opportunities, but I think his question is more futuristic. So after 5 years, whether the field will be the same. So whether AI, artificial intelligence, and the development in technology will take away many jobs, whether mediation and all these will take away litigation altogether. So these are the doubts I think Udaya has. So Siddharth or Vikas, who want to take that?
I think a lot of things will stay the same for the foreseeable future. Lawyers are always going to exist, much like doctors, no matter how much AI comes into the play. You will always have advocates, you will always have solicitors, but they will need to adapt to the changing environment. Some jobs are going to be impacted in the future. And as computers get smarter, they're going to be able to take over low-level positions, ones that require clerical work or just filling out data. Likewise, as communication networks expand, countries start to trade more, you see a lot more internationalization of the legal industry. And one of the things that's happened in India, for instance, is you've seen now lots of foreign firms come into the country as well. So there's a real internationalization of the legal industry in India as well. So the scope is, it's really moving in those directions. And if you're a student coming into first year to study first year law, what I would say is keep an eye out for these developments. Understand how the legal industry is changing, because wherever there is some change, there is also an opportunity. Whereas most of your friends and peers in traditional universities are still doing the same degree that university has been offering for 20, 30 years, here you're going to have the opportunity to think about these changes. If tech is changing law, if ChatGPT is changing the way law is being delivered, how can you, as a legal professional, be there to support that transition? If we're becoming more international, what skills do you need to be able to succeed in such an industry? So these are some of the trends And what we offer at SaiU University is an opportunity to be in line with those trends. We're not going to send you out there unprepared for this changing legal world. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, just to add on to that, I think as long as humans and societies exist, there is going to be a need for lawyers. There are always going to be disputes that exist. There are always going to be agreements that are going to be entered into. There is always going to be trade that happens between societies. There's always going to be all these kind of essentials to life will continue. Communications will expand, technologies will expand, and the world will become more globalized, and that will lead to more international trade, more international communication, more issues of cross-border disputes, more issues of disputes that are impacted by technology. The AI field, though people look at it as something that's scary and will take away our jobs, I think it will need more lawyers. We will need to come up with regulations for artificial intelligence. We will need to sort out disputes over incidents or over matter or subject matter created by artificial intelligence. All this provides for a lot of exciting opportunities for lawyers, actually. So my slight disagreement with Siddhant in the entire thing is I don't think things are going to stay the same. I think the scope is actually going to expand continually in the future. The kind of opportunities you get as the years go by, it's actually going to become more and more. So I think this is the perfect time to study law, actually.
Okay, thank you, Vikas and Siddharth. As long as your disagreement is about expanding fields of law, I think we are happy. We have a question from Gauri Shankar. Thank you very much for joining this program. And I think I understand as a parent your concerns. The first question is that will this be the first batch of law students graduating out of SaiU University? This will be the third BA LLB honors batch which will be graduating out of SaiU University. But so this will be the third batch. We have started our LLB program 2 years back. But School of Law offers other programs in law. We have a very successful program called Daksha Fellowship for lawyers. It's a 1-year program. Already 2 batches have completed Daksha Fellowship. And we also have an LLM in regulation and governance. 1 batch has already completed their LLM. I think that leads to the second question, which is, does the university offer placement offers after the completion of the course? Does the university provide counseling services to the students in terms of what they can do post completion of course? As not all students might have clarity on what exactly they wish to do. Why I mentioned Daksha and LLM is precisely for this reason. We had very good placement for our Daksha batch. LLM batch, none of the students wanted placement because they already had jobs, so they didn't want placement. But for Daksha, we had very good placement. Our students, Daksha fellows, have already been placed in Tier 1, Tier 2 law firms, corporate houses, and independent practice. Some of them have started their own law firms. Definitely, we give placement assistance in the sense we bring recruiters to the campus or we send the CVs to the recruiters, and many of the guest faculty that we have are partners of law firms and all. So placement office is there, which helps the students to get placement. And with regard to career counseling, the way in which BA LLB 5-year integrated program is offered gives a very good idea to the student as to what they want to do after their 5 years, because 4 weeks of internship is mandatory every year. So we encourage our students to do this internship in diverse fields. You go to a civil society organization, an NGO, go and practice with a trial court lawyer, a high court or Supreme Court lawyer, go to a law firm, go to a corporate office, or if your interest is in legal journalism, go to a journalism area. So by that time, we are sure that the students would be very clear about what they want to do after 5 years. But definitely, faculty and placement office we have for the entire university. We will be happy to provide counseling services to the student. If it is higher studies that they want to do, they want to get into academics, all these, we are experienced faculty, and we will be able to do that. The third question is that whether finance course is offered as a minor. No, in BA LLB, we don't have finance as a minor course. Our courses are political science, psychology, and economics. But everyone should have some understanding of finance. So in the Daksha Fellowship, we had a course called Finance for Lawyers. We are also planning this towards the fourth or third or fourth year. We will have a course, not a assessed course where they will get credits, but I think it's important that everyone should know how to manage their own finances. So we'll have some lectures on that. But as a subject, no, it is not a minor which is being offered at SaiU University. I hope that answers your all three questions. Then you have one question about the entrance examination. We accept CLAT as well as LSAT scores. So if you have done your LSAT or if you have a CLAT score, we accept that. We have MOUs with both the Consortium of National Universities and LSAT. So we accept your score at LSAT or CLAT. If you don't have CLAT and LSAT, you'll have to take the SaiU University entrance examination, which is in the same pattern as that of LSAT and CLAT. So we test your basic English, logical reasoning, general knowledge, all those things. Can you explain the procedure of clearing law in details? Udaya has asked. I think the question is about how do you pass your exams, and then I think the question may be about all India bar examination also. So Vikas, can you just answer that question? No, you are on mute, Vikas. You're on.
So if the question is in respect to the All India Bar examination, so basically what happens is once you complete your law degree, passing your law course is not the only exams, once you clear all the exams in your law school, that's not the end of your examinations. Because if you want to practice as a lawyer in India, you need to be enrolled with the Bar Council of India. And the Bar Council of India, what happens is first you apply, you do your process, you go to the Bar Council, you make an application to enroll as a lawyer. They will ask for proof of your law degree, of you graduating, so on and so forth. There are tons of procedural requirements for that. And once you complete those procedural requirements, you'll be enrolled at the bar. There'll be an enrollment ceremony with all of your colleagues. And then they will ask you to do this All India Bar examination. Now, the All India Bar examination is an exam conducted by the Bar Council of India, which basically gives recognition to your law degree from the Bar Council. So typically what happens is once you finish your law school and you are enrolled at the bar, you will have a period of 2 years to write this exam. So in those 2 years, what you will have is a temporary enrollment card and a temporary enrollment, which will still allow you to practice in courts. You can practice in courts for those periods of 2 years, but that ID will only be valid for 2 years. So in the middle, you will have to take this All India Bar examination. This is an MCQ exam. It's conducted open book. It's not that difficult, honestly. It's a very simplistic, straightforward exam, which honestly, if any student is able to clear the 5 years of rigorous law school training and complete all their courses and complete all their education and their examinations for a period of 5 years. The All India Bar exam is not something that you all should be intimidated by. It probably require max a couple of weeks of studying or slightly more than that, depending on your capacity and your capabilities. So the All India Bar examination provides finality, gives you your final enrollment ID, and then you're enrolled as a bar. So this is required not just to practice in courts, but even if you want to provide legal opinions, or even if you want to be an in-house lawyer for various corporates, or you want to provide signed legal opinions that your clients can use in court, the enrollment aspect of it is necessary.
Okay, thank you, Vikas. Next question is again about LSAT and the SaiU University entrance examination. Whether the better score would be taken. Yes, of course, the better score would be taken. But let's be very clear, it's not only on the basis of your score. Unlike CLAT, there is an interaction with faculty, and it's on the basis of both these that admission is offered at SaiU University. Greater weightage is for the entrance examination. But of course, if you have better score in LSAT, LSAT score will be considered. If you have a better score in SaiU University entrance exam, then that score will be taken. Yeah. Is 4 lakhs per year is a fee, 4 lakhs per year. If you go to the website, there are some scholarships which are available. The details of the scholarship are given at the website, but otherwise, there is no scholarship. It is 4 lakhs tuition. Then if you are a residential candidate, then I think it's 1 year hostel fee is 1.8. Is that clear? Is that I think it's residence fee is 1.8 lakhs. And if you are a day scholar, if you are availing the university transport, 50,000 per year is the transport fee.
Yeah, I think, sir, I'll just add up on the scholarship part. I think to quickly sum up on the scholarship part, we have 3 scholarships. That is, one is on, we call it as district topper scholarship, where if you are a district topper who comes in top 3 in your district, then we have 100% full tuition waiver. And then we have young scholar program, which is like 50% tuition fee waiver. It's only on tuition fees, not on a hostel or transport fees. And the other would be the merit scholar, which offers you 25% fee scholarship. So and also to a quick point is that the early you apply, you can avail scholarship since it's on first come first serve. Yeah. So yes, that's on the fee part. And participants, if there is any questions, you can raise your hand or post it on your group.
On our website, all these details are there. Very clear. The scholarship pattern is very clearly mentioned. District toppers, then young scholar and merit scholar scholarships, which are mentioned there. So thank you, Siddhant and Vikas, for helping our participants to understand broadly about Sai University, the legal profession in India, career opportunities, the course structure at Sai University, and most importantly, the life at Sai University. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Our admissions team is available 24/7. So please feel free to contact us. And Nellai, thank you very much for organizing this webinar. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, panelists, all, Shiju sir, Siddhant, and Vikas, so for joining us. And students, if you have any queries, you can visit our website. You'll have admissions contact details, both WhatsApp, mobile number, and the call and something. So we will connect you with the faculties if in case you have seriously wanted to. Yeah. So, and yeah, thank you all, and thanks for joining on a a long weekend, and happy day.